As of this video, it is actually Time to Talk Day over in the United Kingdom, which falls on the 5th of February. It's been a while since I've done another video, but thought it's mainly because I've been fairly busy. But going back to the subject at hand, what is Time to Talk Day all about? Well, Time to Talk Day focuses on the point that we should at least try and spend 5 minutes of that day, and to be honest, of every other day, talking to someone about our health, not about what's on the TV for once. Now this mainly focuses on what we're talking about, this being mental health. And in fact, I would go so far to state that we should try and open up a bit more about ourselves. I know this is not actually an easy thing to do, especially to those you may not know. So you might prefer to talk to someone who's perhaps is a close friend, or perhaps maybe someone you trust. Now, Time to Talk Day is supported by Time to Change, who are led by Mind and Rethink Mental Illness, which is England's biggest program to challenge mental health stigma and discrimination. You see, the problem is mental health discrimination and stigma are still prevalent in today's society. And there are so many cases of people falling into mental ill health because they do not get that support. Now, some who develop mental health problems might have stigma or shame about their symptoms and may often refuse to talk about it or even refuse to seek help. For those who do not open up about what is bothering them, this situation can be a risky chance or choice to take, because if they do not talk about their if they do not talk about their health or even seek help, then it's highly likely their mental health situation may get even worse.
The sad thing is that people often sit back and feel it is not their problem to check up on someone. Perhaps the person feels that they're being too nosy or are imposing themselves on others. And maybe a lot of us do not have the time to check up on other people, but the situation is if we do not check up on those who might be suffering in silence, then it's quite likely someone may deteriorate in their mental health.
Now, there are a large number of mental health cases that could be reduced if we all took the step to at least phone a friend. The emphasis need not be on the sufferer alone, but perhaps we as friends, helpers or carers, like myself, can phone others who we are worried about. Now, unfortunately, so many of us know deep down that someone is developing a mental health issue or are constantly struggling. Now, it could be stress, depression, compulsive disorders or many other mental health problems. And I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm just a carer, someone speaking from a carer's view. It is so important to talk to others on what is worrying or bothering us. But also, on the other hand, it can be important to check up with our friends on how they are feeling. It's not like we have to say much, but at least listen to them. Now, as I mentioned earlier, being a carer of myself or someone using the services, I know only too well what other carers may go through. Over the 12 years of caring, I've spoken and listened to so many carers in carers groups, carer networks and forums and events. And I hear time and time again how carers have been isolated and brought to their wits' end because they had no one to turn to or no one to acknowledge their situation. Now, we carers need to step up and support not only ourselves, but other people and hence other carers in some sense. The thing is, mental ill health does not discriminate. If you are a carer or supporting someone who unfortunately has perhaps developed mental ill health or even physical health problems, I'm sure at times you have been upset, depressed, anxious, worried, and even felt guilty. Now, taking these feelings to the next level, there's always a risk that carers themselves can develop mental health problems if not supported or listened to. To counteract such problems, it's important carers talk to those who we trust about how we are coping. Now, a carer does not need someone to wave a magic wand to solve our problems. A carer can just have someone acknowledge what a carer have or still are going through.
So I hope that I have pointed out some of the reasons I think Time to Talk Day is important. We need to push back on a society that feels that it's good to be busy. And as a society, it is good to take time out and spend time with a friend. It is good as a society that we open up about mental health issues and combat the stigma and discrimination. As a society, we need to change, and there's no better time than to do this now. It's time to change, and it's time to talk.